G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. I want to have a bit of a rant about narcissists on YouTube versus the dreaded Ad-Pocalypse. I'm sure you've all heard of the Ad-Pocalypse. That's the story that once upon a time there was a dominant paradigm under which if you wanted to get paid from YouTube for the advertisements which they ran in, among and around your uploads, the idea was you had to get lots and lots and lots of views. Likes were good, dislikes were good, comments were fairly irrelevant. What mattered was views. The more views you got, the more ads were seen in your videos, and therefore the more revenue you got. And when I began this game, I was told that at my level, I would probably get about $3 per 10,000 views. And to qualify for such bounteous riches, I would have to buy a personal computer. I would have to connect to the internet via the local landline system. I would have to get PayPal accounts. I'd have to come up to speed on emails. I would have to basically, if you think about it, I would have to become a completely different person if I were to try and monetize my piddling little obscure YouTube channel on the extreme eccentric corners of the tubularities. So I decided not to do that. And now it's like 6 years later. And after 6 years, there's, I don't know, 2,100 videos, something like that. And there's 1.26 million channel views of those 2,100 and something videos. And 426 or 427,000 of those views are on one video, and about another 150,000 are on a second video. And all the others, they sort of trail off and pale in comparison with the two actual kind of success stories of my YouTube channel. And it's a little bit sad that all of the 41 videos in my Sunfoil project playlist, between them probably don't have 50,000 videos. I don't know, I've never actually sat down recently and crunched the numbers with an alligator. Isn't that interesting? They call that edge effect. My next door neighbour's place where there are sheep, it's nothing but a bushfire fuel bomb. My place where there are no sheep, at least there's some greenery. Therefore there's some moisture content in the forest floor. There's some thermal mass with which to resist the onset of fire. Which has bugger all to do with the topic of this video, apart from the fact that I live here in a regrowth forest on a ridge, a 100-acre endangered species sanctuary 15 kilometres from town. And one of the reasons this makes sense to me, or one of the reasons this makes sense to me, is probably got something to do with the fact that once upon a time a Centrelink government salaried psychiatrist diagnosed me as suffering from narcissistic personality disorder with antisocial traits. So I'm kind of wrapped up in myself, and I really don't give much of a shit about other people. Happily, 30 years ago I got a kind of a religion, so therefore I've developed a kind of a conscience thingy sort of thing. But anyway, it means that I have a good grip on the mindset of a narcissist. You know, the reason that I'm on YouTube is because for the princely sum of 8 cents per hour, I can upload whatever I want to say to the world. And if I can organise my mobile phone to be a little bit cinematographic, to be slightly talented, skilled or whatever, my message gets through a little bit better. But the point is, you don't need to have a really fancy camera. You don't need to have really brilliant high-grade production levels. If you've actually got a few good ideas or something worth saying, it's pretty easy. All you've got to do is say it and let the idea be bolstered by the pictures that surrounds it. So here we have the situation where the paradigm has changed. Suddenly, somebody complained to Coca-Cola, or maybe it was Amatil, or BHP, or perhaps British American Tobacco. I'm not quite sure who was the first multinational major corporation to receive the complaint, but the complaint went something along the lines of, "Oi, excuse me, I was on YouTube the other day, in the dag end of it, having a look to see who were the Fruit Loopiest crazy buggers out there, and your ads were appearing in the middle of A, white supremacists, B, neo-Nazis, C, ISIL, Islamic State in Levant, jihadists, fundamentalist Christians, feminazis, anti-feminazis, Antifa, right-wing death squads. Your ads were appearing in the middle of all of these YouTube videos. And if your ads are appearing there, the videos are monetized, they're getting paid by you, by your corporation. You are enabling these extremists to propagate their views. You are paying them for making enticing propaganda. And if you keep putting our ads in their videos, we, the multinational corporations, are not going to advertise on YouTube. And YouTube decided, gulp, and they pulled their fucking head in real quick smart. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of videos, which once upon a time used to get a more or less enough money that a person who was good at it could buy cameras, they could set up a studio, they could buy editing software and computers, and they could pretty much give up their day job and they could work by being a YouTube star. And some of them, every time they post a video, they could guarantee 100,000 views within 24 hours. And it was worth doing for them. So they did. I was a little bit less egomaniacal. I decided that the sheer fact that for 8 cents per hour I can upload my rantings to YouTube, and they are prepared to buy the electricity to run the servers that they buy to store my videos and make them available to anybody anywhere in the world anytime, if anybody's interested in what I have to say, I reckon that's a bargain. I don't want to be paid. I am not greedy enough to demand a salary for being me. I already get a disability pension for being fucked in the head with a bad back and a sore foot. I mean, that's kind of the situation. A third of my pension is for nurse's back. 1/3 is for ultralight test pilot's foot. 1/3 is for the short circuit between my ear holes, which causes me to tell the truth in public places. That short circuit was welded in there by the judiciary when I was 18, when they busted me and charged me, convicted me, sentenced me for telling a lie. So I decided to try and tell the truth, and that makes me functionally unemployable. Isn't it a marvellous society that we live in? My pension can afford to pay the rates on the 100-acre endangered species sanctuary. But as narcissists go, I'm one of the few who are honest enough to admit it. And as far as I'm concerned, everybody who is whinging and whining and moaning and groaning and grizzling and griping and howling and wailing and tearing out their fucking hair and gnashing their teeth and ripping their clothes because the Ad-Pocalypse means they can't make a living out of pumping their minority views, which are actually quite repugnant to the mainstream of society, who are the customers who the multinationals are attempting to sell their shit to. I mean, Coca-Cola doesn't care how much expertise you have on the extraction mechanism of a 1943 US M1 rifle. They don't care what you know about an M17 aircraft machine gun. What they know is that 60 to 80% of their customers find the glorification of war to be repugnant, and therefore they don't want to be associated with it in any shape or form. So none of your historical warriorism, militarism, death machine explanation videos are any more marketable on the global stage of YouTube than are neo-Nazi race supremacy rants or fundamentalist religious rants from any direction. It's not a freedom of speech exercise because you can still post your videos, just like I still post my videos. But just like me, you're no longer going to get paid for it. What you are doing is vanity publishing because you are a fucking narcissist, just like I am, and you like being a drama queen on the world stage, and you can do it just about for nothing. You don't have to do anything other than provide the hardware for your upload link and pay the fee for your browser pack. Really? Is that not the situation? You thought that just because globally what you were doing was popular and you were getting paid for it, you thought it was mainstream, and now you've got the shits because it's not mainstream. What you were doing was niche marketing to Fruit Loops, and a lot of them were dangerous Fruit Loops, and society has decided that they don't want to pay you to do it anymore. They're prepared to let you do it, but they're not prepared to pay you to do it. So to all of the other narcissists on YouTube, what I have to say is take a deep breath, calm down, control your hormones, get used to the fact that you live on the lunatic fringe. Welcome to the lunatic fringe, pilgrims. Your rave may make sense to you, but don't belabor yourself with the half-assed notion that you deserve being paid to try and propagate such ideas to the rest of humanity unless they want to pay you to do it. If they don't want to pay you to do it, then what you're producing is unmarketable garbage. Such is life. Have a good one. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.